Hello, everybody. My name is Gavin Wince. I'm the CEO and president of QUX Technologies Incorporated. And today, this is essentially our first workshop. We've had quite a few Zoom meetings prior, but this is our first workshop. And what I want to do is walk you guys through the basics of using QUX. There's essentially two aspects to QUX, which probably is part of the reason why there's some confusion. There's the sort of the viewer aspect where you're casually just enjoying content on the device. And then there's the back end where you have the ability to live stream, upload, create a store, etc. So first, what I'd like to do is I'll adjust this a little bit. I want to show you guys how easy going live is. All right. So
my question was, do you think it would be beneficial for me to get the other remote, and start out, learning with that as well, or just wait?
I personally, I recommend the keyboard mouse pad, the keyboard remote that we've come out with.
Oh, okay.
In hindsight's 22, but we should have probably started with that. The reality is we were so far from having chat and other features that basically it just didn't cross my mind. So I apologize. But the reality is there's so much going on here where having a keyboard is handy that's where all right, let's just have the keyboard. I mean, obviously this is a nice remote. I use it. I enjoy it. But there's a lot of features where a keyboard would be real handy. And I'll give you an example of that. So
Gavin, can I make a comment real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
What I did, because, and I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, but I had real difficulty with the original remote that I got. Seemed like I could never get it to function the way I wanted to. So what I did, that's the one I got with your box. Anyway, what I wound up doing is I have a Logitech wireless keyboard that I hooked up to it and a wireless mouse, and I get much better results.
Exactly.
I really do.
I mean, in all honesty, it's sort of like this is included because obviously you need a remote, but if you toy around inside the box, this thing's extremely advanced. Since you brought that up, I'll go ahead and this button right here where it's got the parallel lines right here.
Yes, sir.
You see that? That's the settings button on the remote. So if I hit that, this actually takes me to the Android settings, right? And so right here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is Bluetooth. So you can come in here and quite literally pair devices. So this is a device, this is a phone that I've been using to test. Well, you can't see it. Let's see.
That's a lot of glare.
Right. Well, it's showing a pairable device here, which is a phone that I've been using to test the QUX Connects before we give it out to you guys to test. So as you can see, you can pair with Bluetooth. There's all kinds of stuff. There's remotes and accessories, hardware monitors. I mean, if you're familiar with the Android operating system, if that's something you're familiar with, have fun, because there's a lot you can do here. Like for instance, you can connect this to more than one TV through the Bluetooth, all kinds of stuff. So, and then this button here is the home button, and that just takes you right back to QX. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say something else I thought of too. Last time I talked to you, I was thinking that you could hook it up to a regular computer, but when you reminded me it was a computer system, what you can also do, for example, I have a Mac Mini, and basically the Mac Mini is just a computer that you hook up to all your peripherals. So you could literally do that with the QX box, correct?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. It's, I mean, if you think about it, it's just the main parts of the computer with the exception of other stuff, right?
But it's a lot smaller.
Yeah, and so it's a lot smaller and has the ports where you can stick other things in it or again, connect it via Bluetooth. I can see someone else has got their box over there as well. All right, so let's go ahead and do something fun. So this is inside my dashboard, right? So here's like all the different, as you can see, I removed my authentication key, so someone can't just go, screw around after this video gets uploaded on YouTube or whatever. But this is under my portals, under live stream, right? So you'd click here. And so let's go ahead and set something up. So let's pick a thumbnail. And I don't know, let's go with this for fun. All right. So go ahead and crop this image. All right. And so there's that. Okay, now before we hit start live here, what we actually have to do. Okay, so what we're going to do is this is Restream. I recommend this for people who aren't super technical. I believe it's about a $20 a month fee for their service. And essentially what you're doing is paying for the convenience of them handling a lot of the more technical aspects. So what we'll do is we'll go to here. So we'll go ahead and share this. Maximize it. So we hit go live and restream. Okay, and we'll go ahead and hit play. And I'm going to mute it so it doesn't do that reverb thing. Okay, so that's streaming there. So now what I do is I go back to my dashboard and hit start live stream. All right, so it should be live. So now all you have to do is, so let's just click on a portal now because you want to see those little blue lines swirl, because that basically means it's refreshing. So now let's go back to the portal page.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you can see the thumbnail that I just created with the earth. Click on it. And there you have it. And if you listen, you can hear me. And there you have it. And if you listen, you can hear me. See? So before we go into the infinite loop, right, and all of a sudden blast our ears out. So that's it. That's all. That's quite literally all it takes to live stream on QX. You should see the panic on the people that have hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment, paying large sums of money, going, that's all it takes. And they're like, how much does it cost? Nothing.
Wow.
Right. So
Can you use something like GoCast Live or?
yeah, you can use, there's several. I'm
have
just familiar. Yeah, you just need to get a hold of me to get the stream key, the RTMP. Yeah, go
So
for it.
eventually we're going to be able to live stream from our phone.
Oh, absolutely.
Or
That's part of the,
phone.
yep, that's part of the QUX Connect.
That's going to be the ultimate right there.
It sure is. Yes.
Now, will you be able to do that with all phones? For example, I have something that's called Clear Cellular,
Mhm.
which is uses a Clear Phone 220.
Worst case scenario, you guys can just text me and ask me for it, and I'll send
Yeah.
it to you.
I don't see that.
I see it. I found it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's there.
Yep. So basically, that's what you put inside whichever stream service you're using. That's the server key or RMTP key, however they word it. And then inside your dashboard on the website, that's where you'll get your authorization keys here. That makes sense?
It does.
So first you go live on the streaming service, and you come in here and hit the start live button. And something I should mention is when we get past certain feature phases, right? When we come back, we're going to modify this page so that you actually can just stream from here without having to use a third-party streaming service. And you'll be
Cool.
able to push content not only into QUX, but into all the other social media sites as well. So this will be your one-stop shop to stream to multiple platforms.
Great.
So since I'm in here, let's go ahead and look at some stuff. So this is account. This is where you've got your first name, your last name, your email, and username, and all this account information here, right? That needs to match all the information. Log in. Oops, there we go. 1 second. So let's say I want to edit the profile, right? Or I want to create a profile. This information here with the name and username, that needs to match inside your user account on the website. So if for whatever reason you're having issues creating a profile or anything like that, or it's not letting you log in, just make sure that the account information here and up here matches. Second, under profile, you can see that here's my profile, and I can come in here and manage the profiles and I can edit it, right? So I can come in here and edit it just as easily as I can over on the TV. So that is that. So here's the store. So if any of you are interested in creating an e-commerce or store on QUX, this is where you do it. And it's quite literally the same as building a portal, but instead of a portal, it's a store. And the store has all of these capabilities with all the orders, unfulfilled, completed, canceled, returned, refunds. It'll have the date, numbers, products, etc. This is, fully built out for any and all e-commerce. Here's how you add products, right? So you put the product, the category types. And if you notice these categories and subcategories, they are quite similar to under portals. Let's say we want to make a portal, right? And we want to you'll see that's the same. What this is essentially what's being tracked in QUX. So rather than tracking metadata, what it is you're picking, so the viewer picks their ad experience, the content creator, and so it's like a catalog of topics. So the catalog of topics, the viewer picks their ad experience. That same catalog of topics, the content creator attaches to their content. The store does the same, etc. So what it is the analytics and how it matches is matching on the selected terms. Does that make sense? So
Yep.
for instance, let's say people that like watching my content have mostly selected, I don't know, yard tools for some reason. Some company that has a store on here that sells yard tools can approach me and say, hey, I've looked at the analytics of your audience and they're into gardening tools. Can I run ads on your content? So then they could run ads on my content. So just like how I showed you, there's the store on the television. That would be the store connected to my account, or unless I built the store. So.
Wow.
And then under my apps, this is where the third-party apps are going to be. So as people start developing apps for QUX, when we're ready for that, this is where you'll be able to go in, modify, delete, add apps to your profile on the television. And then something that no one was expected, but this is not fully ready to go yet, is the custom emojis. And I'm pretty sure the reason why this hasn't been fully unlocked yet is because we're waiting for the tokens to be working, so that if you want to sell custom emojis, you have the ability to do so.
Wow.
So you kind of get an idea. QUX is quite literally a full, it's the kitchen sink approach, I guess you could say. So yeah.
It's awesome.
Yes.
What does it mean? I put create store just to see what would happen. And I press accept, and that's for my tax information.
Oh, wait, say again.
It asks for my tax information.
For the store?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have EINs, because essentially what's going to happen is we're going to have people doing hundreds of thousands of dollars in business. So what we have to do is be able to make it so that we can give them the proper form at the end of the year to make all that legal, right? So basically what it does is it allows your transactions to be private, and third parties don't have access to your transaction history. A lot of people don't know this, but when you go swipe your card anywhere, that information is aggregated, purchased, sold, traded. So a lot of people think that HIPAA is protecting their privacy regarding their medical. Not at all. If you go to CVS and buy a prescription, they know your health. So the problem is we're facing a period in time where there's so much data about us out there. I mean, think about it. Insurance companies are going to be able to get access to our behavioral patterns, know what we're buying, what we're selling, what we're consuming, and they'll be able to have AI and machine learning ultimately determine what's better for their bottom line, not our individual care needs, right? So by isolating essentially our business, right? Because our business is our own business. By isolating that from other third parties, you don't have that vulnerability. And it's not just the transaction history, it's also accessibility to hackers getting access to your credit card information, etc. Like when you connect your bank account to our digital wallet, we don't have that information. The bank does. So, you know what I mean? So really and truly what it does is it just allows us to have privacy, because whose business is it whether I'm buying Doritos at the gas station or not, right? I mean, that's no one's business, but other than mine and the gas station. So I hope that gives a kind of an idea. What it also does, though, is it shields the bank from all of you. So let's say, I don't know, one of you's like Alex Jones or Donald Trump, or one of these people that the media likes to attack and cancel their financial relationship with because of risk assessments, right? Well, because all the transactions will only be saying QUX tokens, right? All the risk for chargeback is inside us. But because the buying tokens and the refunding tokens buttons are quite literally right next to each other, you can refund your tokens into dollars at any time. So there's no need for any chargebacks as far as the tokens are concerned. So we shield the bank as well.
What exactly can I watch with this thing now?
Right now, there's quite a bit of content on here. It's not well organized at this moment because we're doing some cleanup. Right up here on the hourglass is where you can search for content. And there's a bug here with the search bar. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the trick around it. And what it is hit the back button, right? I'm sorry, hit the settings button. Watch this. The settings, then hit the back button, and then the keyboard shows up. Just a stupid little bug, right? So let's go in here and say, oh, I don't know, let's go, let's try Lego. Let's see what kind of Lego videos are in here.
So while you're doing that, so
So
is,
so here comes a bunch of Lego content that's in here. See? Like,
I was gonna say, so is Peace Until gonna sell his stuff on here too?
yes.
Oh,
His
yeah.
jerky,
Say again.
is Peace Until gonna sell his jerky on here also?
Yeah, it's kind of the big hang up is the token. Because without the token, what's the point of having the stores open, right? Because the last thing we want is anyone somehow figuring out a force sales through. And like we're like, you know what I mean? So once we start playing with money, that's when stuff gets real serious, right? So we just, it is what it is. But as you can see, you can use the search to find stuff, or you can just come up here and kind of just go through the different categories and see what people have placed in these different categories. Part of the reason why we've got the TV feature coming in here shortly is so that actually allows us to have just endless content, right? And this is about 4 weeks out for that. And then with the live streaming, we're going to start having over the next, probably by the end of next week, we'll have like several, probably at least at 4 minimum live stream things. And then again, worst case scenario, if some of us could periodically just stream some stuff live for the purpose of there being stuff in here, that would be fantastic. In about maybe 2 weeks, we're going to have the browser in here. So you'll be able to use the browser to just go to other platforms, you know what I mean? So if you've got a Netflix subscription, you could just go to it on your browser or whatever, so yeah.
And so Netflix wouldn't know you were in it, or
If
would
you
they?
logged in, they would, and you would have to log in order to access it, but they wouldn't. All Netflix would be able to get the analytics of is that you're watching Netflix and what it is you're watching on their platform. They wouldn't be able to go in and grab all the cookies and stuff and see all the other things, all the third-party stuff, because that doesn't exist on QUX.
That's good.
Somebody mentioned earlier about, for example, going to a gas station and buying a taco and you swipe a credit card. Well, they already know that. They started talking, for example, about all this centralized digital stuff. Well, they already have that information. So they don't even need to go to the digital coins. They already have all the information already now.
I think that's what the digital coins are for. It's basically using the blockchain, merging the blockchain with our behavioral data. So
Right.
that what it is there's essentially a universal digital currency that doesn't have any inherent value. Rather, your ability to have purchasing power with that currency is based on your performance. So if you're a good little guy, right?
Yeah.
You have
Yep.
more purchasing power than the bad little guy.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's a very scary future. And
Very.
obviously us and them are going to collide at some point. It's a matter, will we have enough momentum to take the brunt end of the force? Because I can tell you, it's going to get wild. Absolutely.
Very.
Like for instance, I'll give you a really good example of at some point it could become an issue. Who knows? Maybe it won't. But that's the issue of. And then, by the way, as far as content, if you come into the portal area right here, and you hit see all, you'll see there's a filter key up here. This isn't working quite yet, but it will be. But what you'll see is there's going to be a whole series of sort by. So you can sort by popularity, release date, alphabetical order, right? So let's say you want to see what's trending, or let's see what's going. And then there's going to be categories that you can select as well, right? And then this will populate in the basically you control the algorithm, right? So the idea is that we collectively or individually are we're the algorithm. It's the user intelligence, right? Instead of AI.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. I mean, it just goes and goes. Sorry, my internet is slow. But yeah, you can just, there's about, I think, 900 portals in here.
Wow.
And obviously some of them are older content going back to when we were doing the test pilot program. And there's also ones in here that are broken that need like a new video link or updated or whatever. At some point, ones that have issue, they're gonna disappear, right? They're not gonna be deleted. They're just gonna disappear. And what happens is the person whose portal is will get a notification saying, hey, your portal's not working. Please fix the video file or whatever. That way, while the user's scrolling through it, they're not having to go through like, this isn't working, this isn't working.
Yeah,
So, but yeah,
good idea.
Where do you go to find big data is watching?
you know what I can do? Watch this. Let's have some fun here. What I did was I just was perusing through all the different portals, and it's down at the bottom, down here. But here's what we're gonna do. Let's do this. All right. So let's go back to my profile. So here's portals, right? And let's go ahead and, so these are pre-existing portals that I've made. So let's go down here. Oh, that must be one that Millie made. So let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna add a portal. Okay. So let's see. Here's big data. All right, so we'll use that as our thumb. Okay, we'll crop the image. Okay, and then I like to go ahead. I do the, let's go ahead and do the background image. All right, and this gives you a little bit of a preview to see what it's going to look like to make sure it looks relatively good. And it's like, all right, good enough. So we'll go ahead and call it big data is watching. In category, we'll go ahead and go under entertainment, shows, and let's go with documentary. And once you have that up there, you just click on the side like that. And then ratings, you've got youth, Y7, PG-14, mature audience, free speech, questionable content, and X. And what's kind of cool about the X rating is that allows us to not have X-rated material in any of these other categories. And rather than having people upload that stuff to QUX, if they want to link something to that there, that gives them the ability to do it. And it's segregated from all this, and we don't end up in one of those interesting cake maker situations where here comes some very sophisticated lawyers that know the ins and outs of the porn industry's spearheading free speech, which a lot of people don't really know about. So let's go ahead and put it under the free speech rating, access right, let's just say original content. So let's go now to, let's see. So we'll go to YouTube, because what I'm going to do is I'm just, rather than upload it, right? Let's just use the YouTube link. Okay, so here's the trailer. So I'll click on the trailer, pause it. Now the URL you want to use is not this one. It's better to actually use the one up here, the full one. So copy that. Then go back to your
Be doing these Zooms.
every week. So
That's
the
awesome.
trailer type, instead of a file, we're going to use a URL. So go ahead and put the URL there. And this is for the trailer. And it's not for sale. It's just going to be free for all. We'll just say enjoy. Good enough, right? All right.
Yep.
So now put this up here. Did I skip anything? Nope. Okay, save. Give it a minute. Successfully create portal, and boom. You've successfully created a portal. What do you want to do next? Let's add content. So we'll click here, continue. Boom. So now we're at the content page to create content. So I'm going to be lazy and I'm just going to go ahead and use the same thumbnail images. But let's go ahead and crop this one like that. There we go. Yeah. So there's that. All right, that's good enough for our purposes. So now let's go ahead and I'll do the same one for the background. All right. So the name, big data is watching, and we're going to attach it to the big data is watching portal down here. And we don't need to have it part of a collection or a chapter. Let's go ahead and have it in the category of movies and television. That'll work. Subcategory. I don't know. Power adapters. All right. Rating. We'll do free speech, access rights, original content. So that trailer source that I have, I'm just going to put it there. Now I need to get the content source. So I do the same thing, but instead of with the trailer, I do it with the full length video. So I'm gonna grab that real quick. There we go. All right, so we'll go ahead and put the content source there. And we're not running any ads on this one right now. And then go ahead and put enjoy. I have all that stuff there. Everything looks good. All right, let's hit save. Content created. All right. And as you can see, we've taken the time to put a lot of content on here. And all
Wow.
of you can do the same thing. All right, so let's go over here. I'm going to go up here and just go click someplace else to kind of give it a second to refresh itself. Oh, it looks like someone else is going live right now. And there it is.
I'm watching it now.
And there it is, 1 hour 42.
What's the icon, the TV icon that's on?
That's going to be cable television. And we'll have subscriptions for like 15 a month, 50 a month, or 100 a month, depending on how much content you want. Like, do you want HBO and all that stuff, or you just want the basic? You know, some people want, you know, just news and sports. Some people want everything, you know, because as you can imagine, each thing we make, there's like 10 things we didn't think of that have to be made immediately thereafter, right? Because it's like,
Right.
oh my gosh, we didn't think about that. We need to bring that in. Like, for instance, the live chat, but no keyboard, right? So I guess we can wave at each other.
Well, I guess if one of the things that all of us can get to where we understand is is that a lot of people just don't understand what has to go on behind the curtain. You are only able to see so much and know so much, but what goes on behind the curtain is all the development and all the stuff that has to be worked out in order just to develop it. And so if everybody could just remain patient, because there's so much that we don't know that's going on behind the curtain. Does that make sense?
And you guys are, you are more than free to call me. If anyone here has called, who here has spoken to me on the phone?
I have.
Okay, how long was the conversation?
A long
Um,
time.
Most of mine were probably about an hour.
Yeah, good luck calling me and not having a conversation that leads, like my Millie's brother saying that I should just start live streaming my customer service calls. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because they get real philosophical real quick. You know, I mean, I am technically a philosopher, for better or for worse. So maybe philosophers shouldn't be doing customer service. Maybe they should. I don't know.
Oh, and while I got you on here, it's funny.
Well, question, will these Zoom meetings eventually be offered on the QX box?
Absolutely. At some point, once we've got the video and messaging finished, which we're probably, honestly, probably May. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because we've got a lot of stuff in front of that that in some ways sets more precedent. I mean, that's just icing on the cake.
Right, right.
But we will have that, I mean, it's already, you know what? I might actually be wrong. Let me walk that back. I just realized it's already done. It's just the front end. So that actually
Okay.
might come in about 2 weeks. So,
Okay.
That'd be nice. Well, how long before we see QUX commercials on TV?
well, you'll see TV commercials on QUX before.
Well, at some point, I would think it would be beneficial to draw in a bigger customer base.
Absolutely. But we kind of, I mean, it's all budget, right? Like if you had a ton of, like, you know, everyone's different. To me, I would rather spend the money on development. Our end goal is that phone using its own mesh network for voice over IP, so that you're not even connecting it to cellular or 5G or anything. It'll be our own
Yeah.
network.
Good.
That's the ultimate goal. I mean, that's just super funny. You'll be walking around on the phone that doesn't connect to what anybody else's does.
Good.
And
Good.
personal marketing is the best marketing anyways. If you hear it from somebody you trust that's already used it, that's better than any commercial on TV.
Yeah. And the phone, one last thing, the phone app. So the QUX Connect, obviously there's been a delay with that, but as that delays, there's just more coming into it. So the QUX Connect is most likely going to have your TV subscription in there as well, because since that's outside our network anyway, we're not really creating a vulnerability in your phone with that, right? Like we're not compromising our network by putting the TV into your phone through the app, right? So that's not a real issue. And then you'll also have the payment app. So let's say you go to a store that has a QUX account and you're a customer that has a QUX account, and I'm talking brick and mortar, right? You'll be able to use your phones to do the transaction without having to do, cash or whatever. You won't have to have a card or none of that. You know, somewhere mid-April, you're going to have TV, you're going to have a browser, you're going to have a store. It's finally going to be the universal media box, right? Your social television console.
The only thing is we still got to get rid of the thing that brings, like your cable or your internet that brings it into your system. That's the still piece that we got to be able to get rid of.
That's a long-term goal. That's the mesh
I understand.
network. Yep, that's where the QUX Enterprise and the phones really are going to.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's good. Like I said, that's, that was one of my final concerns, is I'm still having to connect it to a internet service. Yeah. I've seen pictures of that. Yeah.
So this little guy, this is actually a small little thing. Like this right here, kind of give you an idea.
Oh, wow.
And what it's for is quite literally, so imagine you've got a factory and you've got all these interconnected devices that have to all, you've got some kind of central server or whatever somewhere that's managing, making sure, all the data, whatever, right? And so
Yeah.
what this does is allow you to secure your facility. And one of our target markets for this is the trucking industry, so that you could have these on trucks and trailers, and the dispatcher would be able to communicate with the drivers and keep track of the trailers, the contents, whatever stuff they're having to monitor, all within their own private intranet. And then what happens is these little guys not only talk to each other within their own private network, but there's sort of a partitioned section of this that does not communicate with the private intranet, but rather allows all of them to act as a mini server network. So what that'll do then is, once we've got lots of these out in areas, you would be able to actually see on your QUX box and or your QUX phone, oh, look, there's I have access to the QUX network here. And so you could actually go on to that and access QX rather than an ISP. And then that's what the phones will connect with. And the phones so the phones and the QUX Enterprise is really going to expand out our mesh.
So in the future, will you be able to rent movies with the tokens?
Absolutely. Yep.
Interesting.
That's what the easy portal function was actually designed for, is that you could just upload a video for sale and then people can buy it. And what's cool about what we do is we don't charge anything for the store. So if you build out a store, we don't charge you anything for it. There's no monthly fee or nothing. The only time you get dinged by us, right, is let's say you have $100 in your wallet from sales you've done. When you pull that out into dollars, it'll become $95. So we basically will keep $5 for every 100. And that's essentially the cost for the merchant.
Well, eventually, QUX also offers something like a Telegram, so that you also get off of something like that.
Yeah, I could show you. All right, so this is quite literally, as you can see, this is the TV UI, right? So what this would be is you would have come over here and clicked on the message bubble. And then inside here, you would see all the different portals that are actively engaging in chat. And you would be able to request to join, or someone could send you an invite. And you can see these will act like read and unread. So this is kind of like, messaging, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so here you can have like a group message, and these are all the different people that are part of that group. And as you can see, you have the option to type message or start a video call, right? So that's where this will be like Zoom and Telegram combined.
Nice.
But that's not available yet, correct?
It's already built. It's just a matter of we're waiting on those front end guys to catch up to it, because like I said, we got some new guys working with us.
Gotcha.
And then, oh, here we go. Is this it? Okay, so I'll show you this. This is what's just around the corner too. So as you can see, this is the player as it is now. And so there's the subscription possibility. And if you hit the save button, it'll add it to this little area. So you can go down to the start area and see all the things you've saved. You can like stuff or you can flag it. Have I showed you guys the flagging yet?
Mm-mm.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, this is so funny. Okay, so like, see how there's like a bunch of these cat ones?
Yeah.
I'm not
Mhm.
into cat videos, so let's see if I can get, I'm gonna flag this one. Okay, so it's all reported videos. So sexual content, violent or repulsive, hateful or abusive, harassment or bullying, promotes terrorism, child abuse, spam or misleading, infringes my rights, caption issues, harmful or dangerous. This is the stuff that is gonna make all of the lefties happy, right? So let's just go to, we'll flag it for spam or misleading. Mass advertising. All right, you're out of here, buddy. And then when you do that, you'll have the option to never see it. And what's kind of fun is there's a delete button on the remote. And pretty soon, if you see a portal that you just don't want to see anymore because you're over it, you can just delete it from your device. But you'll be able to go back into settings and undelete it if you need to. All right, so then this is like when you're watching the video, right? And this is our player. And so here's the C products, which I showed you. So this is what it'll look like. The store will come up like this. And the store has the option to pick which products are going to show up on the screen. And then you click the buy now button. And then this will come up. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to buy a brand new motorcycle on QUX?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So anyway, just add to cart. And this comes up, order summary, pay now. Thank you for your order. And that's it. So what's cool about that is content creators won't have to plug. They won't have to give out customer codes. None of that. All right, guys, you have a good evening, and I will see you next Friday.
All right.
And thank,
Thanks.
and
Kevin.
thank you for being here.
Hey,
Thanks,
thank you too. Yeah.
Thanks,
Bye,
Gavin.
guys. Good night.
All right.
Good night, everybody.